Have you ever watched something so innocent, so colorful and cheerful that you never questioned what might be lurking beneath the surface? What if I told you that one of animation's most beloved shows has been hiding a disturbing truth in plain sight all along? Welcome, curious minds. Today, we're diving deep into the shadows cast by the seemingly bright world of Steven Universe, a show that captivated millions with its messages of love, acceptance, and friendship. Or so we thought. Let's start with the foundation of the entire series, Steven's origin. We've all accepted the beautiful story of Rose Quartz giving up her physical form to create Steven, a sacrifice born of love. But what if this was the biggest deception of all? Consider this. What if Rose Quartz was actually a parasitic entity that consumed Steven's true mother? The evidence is hiding in plain sight. Look closely at Rose's portrait, that distant, almost predatory gaze, the way other gems speak about her transformation, always with a hint of unease. Pearl's obsessive devotion isn't just love. It's the traumatized response of someone who witnessed something horrifying but can't bring herself to acknowledge it. And Steven himself. His gem isn't just a magical inheritance. It's something foreign, something that doesn't truly belong to him. Haven't you noticed how his powers often activate against his will? How his gem sometimes seems to have its own agenda? This isn't a story about a boy with his mother's gem. It's a story about a human child being slowly consumed by an alien parasite, disguising itself as a heritage of love. Now, let's talk about the crystal gems, garnet, amethyst, and pearl. The loving guardians who protect and guide Steven. Or do they? Why do they keep so many secrets from him? Why do they consistently put him in danger despite claiming to protect him? Why do they repeatedly dismiss his feelings and concerns? Because they're not protecting Steven. They're controlling him. Remember how they initially refused to tell Steven about his mother's past? How they withhold crucial information until they're forced to reveal it. This isn't protection. This is calculated manipulation. The crystal gems aren't freedom fighters rebelling against Homeworld's oppression. They're rogue elements with their own dark agenda, using Steven as a weapon they can control, a weapon with Rose's powers, but without her autonomous will. Did you ever wonder why they never tried to contact other humans for help? Why they keep Steven isolated on the beach, away from normal human connections? Control requires isolation. And what about those moments when the gems glitch out, their forms distorting? That's not just for comedic effect. That's the show giving us glimpses of their true nature, slipping through the carefully maintained disguise. The show we watched was heavily sanitized. There are countless clues suggesting a much darker original vision that was deemed too disturbing for television. Have you noticed the odd pacing in certain episodes? The unexplained character reactions? The storylines that build tension only to resolve too neatly? Industry insiders have whispered about lost episodes and deleted scenes that would have revealed the true horror of Steven's situation. Animation cells that were locked away. Storyboards that were shredded. Look at the episode Keeping It Together, where Garnet discovers the forced fusion experiments. The horror on her face tells us everything. That wasn't just disgust at Homeworld's cruelty. That was recognition. Recognition of something the crystal gems themselves had been involved with. The forced fusion experiments weren't just Homeworld's atrocities. They were based on the crystal gems' own research that Rose herself pioneered. Beyond the conspiracy lies something even more disturbing. Steven Universe is a psychological study of trauma, denial, and loss of self. Steven never had a chance to develop his own identity. From birth, he was told he was Rose, but not Rose. Special, but flawed. Powerful, but dangerous. He's gaslighted by his supposed protectors, manipulated into fulfilling their agendas, and forced to atone for crimes he never committed. The show isn't celebrating Stephen's growth. It's documenting his psychological destruction. Look at the final seasons. Stephen's mental health deteriorates. He experiences dissociation, rage, and finally transforms into a monster, the physical manifestation of his psychological torment. And the so-called happy ending? Stephen abandoning Beach City, leaving behind everything and everyone he knows? That's not triumph. That's escape from his abusers. That's a broken young man running from the place that shattered his sense of self. What makes this truly heartbreaking is how beautifully the deception was crafted. We were so enchanted by the colors, the music, the moments of connection that we failed to see the horror story playing out in front of us.